Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, my dear friends. As part of my seminars practice, today we'll discuss next seminar, the seminar on relaxation therapies. Okay, relaxation therapies. First of all, we should know the what do you mean by relaxation therapies and what are the methods they'll use for relaxation therapies. Okay, then. In which conditions we can provide relaxation therapies to the patients. Okay, today we'll discuss, first of all we'll discuss about relaxation therapies. Okay, relaxation relaxation which will produces physiological effects opposite those of anxiety, slowed heart rate, increased peripheral blood flow, and neuromuscular stability. There are many methods which can use to induce relaxation. Okay, first we should understand what do you mean by relaxation therapies. What will happen in the relaxation therapies means relaxations will produces physiological effects opposite to anxiety. Actually anxiety, what do you mean by anxiety? When the patient is suffering from the anxiety, what will happen? The patients may have like increased heart rate, they may feel some anxious, right? So here completely the relaxation is completely opposite to the anxiety. Okay, here what will happen when the patient is having relaxed state? Okay, we can find the slowed heart rate, and there we can find increased peripheral blood flow as well as neuromuscular stability. Okay, there are the many methods which can useful to induce relaxation. Okay, there are many methods have been given for to make the patients to being in a relaxed state. The methods are like the first one is progressive muscular relaxation, and the second one is mental imagery, the third one yoga, then the fourth one is meditation, the fifth one is biofeedback, the sixth one is physical exercises, the seventh one is deep breathing exercises, the eighth one is psychoeducation. These are the methods which can use the patients to induce the relaxation. Okay, now we'll see the first one, progressive muscular relaxation. Okay, here you should understand what do you mean by progressive muscular relaxation. Okay, here the progressive muscular relaxation in the sense it is a first this progressive muscular relaxation, first it was introduced by American physician, okay, Edmund Jacobson. Okay, I think you all are heard about Jacobson's progressive muscular relaxation techniques. Okay, training centers also has are there, training centers also there, progressive Jacobson's progressive muscular relaxation centers. Why the name have been given for Jacobson's muscular relaxations means Edmund Jacobson in 1930, he is an American psychiatrist. Okay, he was introduced first in 1930 for progressive muscular relaxation. He was introduced progressive muscular relaxation in the 1933. He is an American psychiatrist. His name is Edmund Jacobson. Okay, by his name only we used to call that Jacobson's progressive muscular relaxations. Okay, here during these exercises, actually this is a method of deep muscle relaxation. Okay, it is a method of deep muscle relaxation which is based on the premise that the body responds to anxiety provoking thoughts and event with muscle tension. Excellent results has been observed with this method in the treatment. Okay, here first it is a method of deep muscle relaxation. In the progressive muscle relaxation, completely all the major muscles, small group of muscles, major group of muscles, all the muscles may involved in this relaxation technique. Okay, these here the body used to respond when there are a anxiety provoking thoughts or events. Okay, with the muscle tension, when there is a anxiety provoking thoughts or events has been occurred in the patient, automatically the body may respond. Okay, so in those conditions we can provide this deep muscle relaxation. Okay, here actually there are the many scientists have proved that. Okay, scientists have proved that these progressive muscular relaxation can be helpful, and these can be helpful in the treatment of muscular tension, anxiety, insomnia, depression, fatigue, irritable bowel muscle spasm, neck and back pain, high blood pressure, mild phobias and stuttering. Okay, in these all the areas, for these all the conditions, we can use progressive muscular relaxation as a treatment. Okay, in the treatment of these all the conditions, we can use this progressive muscular relaxation. Here, stuttering. Okay, you all know depression, fatigue, irritable bowel syndrome, neck pain, high blood pressure, mild phobias. Stuttering in the sense it is a speech disorder which involves frequently the people may have a problem with the fluency of speech or flow of speech. Okay, frequently they may have the problem with fluency of speech or flow of speech. This is a speech disorder. Okay, stuttering is a speech disorder. Okay, in these conditions also we can use this progressive muscular relaxation technique. Okay, next we'll see the procedure or technique. Okay, now we'll see the procedure or technique for progressive muscular relaxation. How we can do this progressive muscular relaxation, how it may helpful, then how can we'll practice this technique. Okay, first what we have to do means, I already said in these all the groups, types of muscle groups may involve, like major muscle groups and larger muscle groups. In this procedure, the patient first relaxes major muscle groups in fixed order, beginning with the small muscle groups of the feet and working towards the head or vice versa. Okay, so this muscle relaxation can be done in sitting or lying down position. Okay, what will happen means, during this exercise you will be working with almost all the major muscle groups in your body. Okay, what will happen in this technique means, in this technique during this exercise, okay, during this exercise you will be working with almost all the major groups in our body, like larger muscle groups, smaller muscle groups. We already have been very known in our anatomy physiology. Okay, first year musculoskeletal system, like all the muscle groups like abdominal muscle group, biceps, deltoid, spinal muscle groups, gluteus, dorsal femoralis, like obliques, pectoralis, quadriceps, trapeziums, triceps. These are all the muscle groups which are involved in our body, right? So first what will happen means, first it will start with the patient supposed to relax all major muscle groups in a fixed order. So first is supposed to begin with the small muscle groups to major muscle groups. Okay, like how can we'll do means, first we need to start with first we need to ask the patient to start with your feet, and systematically he's supposed to move up. Okay, first in the progressive muscular relaxation, first he's supposed to start this procedure by using of he need to start with the foot means foot. In the foot we have a muscle groups, right? Okay, there are the small muscle groups also there in the feet. So he is supposed to start first with a foot, then systematically he is supposed to move up, then from feet to legs to knees to thighs to abdomen to chest to shoulder to forehead, likewise. Okay, so then he is supposed to come back vice versa. Again he is supposed to start with from the forehead to till the feet, like that. So first start with your feet, systematically move up, vice versa, like from your forehead down to your feet. Okay, likewise. Okay, then the procedure which that procedure, which are the steps we need to follow. First, foot curl, your foot down. These are the procedure is there. I'll send that in PDF, because if I say so also you cannot understand. So that is the way I'll send it PDF, the complete whichever the muscle groups may involve, and how to use that muscle groups of bending, forward, downward, upward, okay, like that. There are the muscle groups we can use in that way. Okay, by doing this procedure. So first how we should start this procedure means, okay, first to make the patients to relaxed state, how we should start with this procedure means, first of all we need to ask the patient to take a deep breath. Okay, in the progressive muscular relaxation, what we have to do means, we need to ask the patient to take a deep breath in through the nose. Okay, we need to advise the patient to take deep breath through nose, and then through your nose, and hold your breath for few seconds. We need to advise the patients to, we need to say the patient like that, hold your breath for few seconds, and now breath out and take another deep breath through your nose. Now pay attention to your body and how it feels. Okay, first we need to advise the patients to take breath through the nose as well as hold the breath for few seconds, then again he need to breath out. Okay, again he is supposed to take another deep breath, okay, through the nose. Again he need to pay attention on body, then he need to check how it feels. Okay, then after that he need to start the procedure from the foot muscle to forehead muscles, smaller group of muscles to larger group of muscles. Now he is supposed to start, after taking breath he is supposed to start the procedure. First he is supposed to start with the right foot, and he need to squeeze all the muscles in our right foot. Okay, he need to squeeze all the muscles in the right foot, then he need to curl the left foot. Okay, then he supposed to go up. Okay, go up in the sense he supposed to go to the legs. Okay, then the next thing is like he need to notice the differences between the tension and the relaxation when he is twisting, when he is relaxing the muscles. Okay, twisting, relaxing, larger muscles and smaller muscles, the twisting and the relaxing, there he need to identify, he need to observe the like differences, how it feels when the tension occurs, how it feels when the relaxation occurs, how it feels, he need to identify. Okay, after taking the breath he need to start the procedure from the foot to the till the forehead, and again he is supposed to start vice versa from the forehead to till the feet, like that. Okay, then he need to feel the tension, and then if wherever the patient is feeling the tension, that tension supposed to flow out of from the foot like a water. Okay, this is the thing in the technique. Okay, again actually these muscle relaxation can be done in a sitting position or lying down position. Okay, each muscle group each muscle group is tensed for 5 to 7 seconds. Okay, then relaxed for 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, here for tensing, for twisting the muscles it will take 5 to 7 seconds, and for relaxation it will take 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, we need to identify during which time the individual concentrate on the differences in sensations between the two conditions. That only while where he is feeling where he is sensing. Okay, like while twisting or while relaxation, he need to identify between these both conditions. Again sometimes when the patient is not getting relaxed by doing this thing also, if he is not getting a relaxation, even we need to provide some soft slow background music may facilitate relaxation. Sometimes these music also may helpful to the patients to being in a relaxed state. Okay, we need to provide soft slow background music to the patient. Okay, this is comes under progressive muscular relaxation technique. Okay, this is first introduced by the Edmund Jacobson in 1930. Okay, during this exercise you will be working with almost all the major muscle groups in your body. Okay, this is comes under progressive muscle relaxation. When this muscle relaxation will useful means in the treatment of muscular tension, anxiety, insomnia, depression, fatigue, irritable bowel muscle spasms, neck and back pain, high blood pressure and mild phobias and stuttering. In these conditions we can use this progressive muscular relaxation technique. Okay, the next one is relaxation method is mental imagery. Okay, mental imagery. Here what do you mean by mental imagery? Mental imagery in the sense it is a relaxation method in which patients are instructed to imagine themselves in a place associated with pleasant relaxed memories. Okay, such images are such images allow patients to enter relaxed state or experience feeling of calmness. Okay, based on what each individual consider being a relaxed environment. Here I'll explain what do you mean by mental imagery. Okay, mental imagery in the sense like what will happen in the mental imagery in the sense. Okay, first of all what we need to do means mental in the sense it is related to the mind. Imagery in the sense imagine something. Imagery in the sense imagine something. Mental in the sense related to the mind. Here what will happen means the patient in his mind he will imagine something which is not presented in the which is not presented in the particular environment. Okay, he will imagine in his mind which is externally present, okay, which is not externally present, okay, that he will imagine, okay. This is also one of the relaxation method, okay. Here what we have to do means we need to give some instructions to the patient to imagine themselves, okay. We need to, as a therapist, we need to give some instructions to the patient to imagine themselves in a place which is associated with pleasant relaxed memories, okay. When he is imagining, okay, that supposed to give pleasant relaxed memories to the patient, okay. Then such images allow patients to enter into a relaxed state or experience a feeling of calmness and tranquility, okay. Here what will happen means the patient, when he is imagining or any images, any scenes, any situations, okay, any object, when he is imagining, okay, we need to allow that images to the patient. Thereby he can enter into relaxed state and he may experience some feeling of calmness and tranquility. Tranquility means peace of mind or calmness, peacefulness or calmness without any noise, okay. That is comes under tranquility, okay. Tranquility will call, okay. The frame of references is very personal based on what individual considers being a relaxing movement. Some might select a scene at the seashore, some might choose a mountain atmosphere, some might choose floating through the air. The choices are as limitless as one's imagination, okay. Here what we have to do means we need to advise we need to give instructions to the patient whichever he likes, okay. Some people may choose beach atmospheres, seashore atmosphere. Some people may imagine what to say, mountain atmosphere. Some people may imagine like rainy season movement, okay. Some people may they may imagine like floating through the air. Likewise, depends on individuality. It depends on their willingness, their will and wish, okay. Depends on the completely patient's willing and willness, and they depends on their like, okay. They can imagine anything. That imaginations, that pictures, that scenes, that objects, that situations should give pleasant memory to the patient. Thereby he need to get some relaxation, okay. The choices are limitless. Whatever he want to choose, he can choose, okay. There depends on their imagination, okay. So here the nurse using guided imagery can promote a sense of well-being in patients and help them change their perceptions about their disease, treatment and healing ability. Here the nurse is also supposed to use this guided imagery to the patients, okay. Thereby, why we need to use this guided imagery or mental imagery to the patients means this may promote a sense of well-being to the patients and it may help the patients to change their perception about their disease condition. So some of the peoples may have different type of perceptions about their disease, about their condition, about their health status, okay. False perceptions they may have, misperceptions they may have. That is the why these mental imagery can help the patients to change their perceptions levels about their disease, about their treatment, even their healing ability, okay. Nurses can assist patients with imagery during a painful or stressful event, okay. Here the nurses also can supposed to assist the patient with imagery during a painful, or if the patient is suffering from any painful situations, if the person is suffering from any stressful events, okay, there this mental imagery can helpful, okay. So there in those conditions, in those situations, the nurse supposed to assist the patient with mental imagery, okay. The nurses certificate program in imagery is endorsed by the American Holistic Nurses Association. So, okay, those who are assisting the patient with a mental imagery or guided imagery, they will have a certificate program that maybe that was endorsed by the American Holistic Nurses Association, AHNA. They may have one certificate. Nurses who are helping to the patients by using imaginary, guided imagery or mental imagery, for them they will have one certificate. The certificate was endorsed by the American Holistic Nurses Association. This is comes under mental imagery. Mental imagery means in his mind he is supposed to imagine objects, scenes, situations, okay, pictures or images in his mind. That images, pictures, scenes, whatever it may be, whatever he is imagining, that supposed to give pleasure memories to the patient and he is supposed to get relaxation, okay. Then the next one is after mental imagery, then next we'll move on to the yoga, Okay, here yoga. What do you mean by yoga? Yoga means in the sense like we all very familiar with the yoga, because most of the people might be practice these yogas. Okay, even all the celebrities also. Okay, all the celebrities also, they'll practice this yoga. Yoga is a good for, it's not only good, it is not only good for the mentally ill patient, even though it may helpful for the normally healthy individuals also. Mentally healthy people also can practice this yoga in their daily life. Okay, the yoga, it is based on the ancient Indian philosophy principle of mind body unity. Okay, yoga, it is the ancient Indian philosophy. Actually, this yoga was practiced by Indians only. This is the Indian philosophy. The principle is mind body unity. Okay, here there is no differences between mind and body, they are united one. Okay, a chronically restless or agitated mind will result in poor health and decreased mental clarity. See, when the patient is when the patient is having restlessness, when the patient is having agitated mind, okay, what will happen? Automatically the patient may have poor health and they may have decreased mental clarity. So yoga uses combination of physical postures. Okay, yoga uses combination of physical postures that will called as asanas, breathing techniques that will called as pranayamas, and meditation that will called as dhyana. These will promote relaxation and enhance the flow of vital energy called prana in the sense life or breath. Okay, it is essential for nurse to have baseline information and awareness of yoga, which is purely Indian in origin. Okay, here yoga uses many combinations like postures will called as asanas, we'll use breathing techniques that will called as pranayamas, we'll use meditation also that will called as dhyana. These all may promote relaxation to the patient, as well as which may enhance a flow of vital energy, which is called prana means life. Okay, so the nurses, those are giving care to the people, psychiatric people. Even they supposed to have a baseline information, and they're supposed to aware of yoga, which is purely Indian in origin. Okay, the yoga system advocates identification of the soul means atma. Okay, this yoga system will advocate in yoga system will identify the soul, that will called as atman, with its final aim being union with the supreme being. The final aim of yoga system is being union with the supreme being in the sense paramatma. That is the main reason to practice yoga. Okay, the complete yoga system aim is being a supreme, means being a paramatma. This is brought about the following steps. Okay, depends on these paramatma. Okay, the yoga system add 8 steps or 8 limbs. Okay, even Patanjali, you might be knowing about Patanjali yoga system, Patanjali asanas. Okay, Patanjali also have practicing like 8 limbs, Patanjali 8 limbs. Okay, these all the things we all regularly we used to hear, right? Okay, 8 steps or 8 limbs has been given in the yoga system. Okay, there are the 8 steps or 8 limbs. The first one is like yama in the sense self control. Okay, yama in the sense self control. The second limb is religious observance means niyama. The third one is assumptions of certain positions, will call as asanas. The fourth limb is, or fourth step is regulation of breath, that will call as pranayama. Then the fifth limb is restraint of the senses, that will call as pratyahara. The sixth one is steadying of the mind, that will call as dharana. The seventh limb or step is meditation, that will call as dhyana. The eighth one is profound contemplation, that will call as samadhi. These are the 8 steps or 8 limbs which the yoga system had been given. Okay, so those who are practicing yoga, actually the people those who are practicing yoga, these 8 limbs and 8 steps need to follow. Okay, the first we'll see what do you mean by self control, what do you mean by yama. Yama in the sense it is a self control. Okay, self control, self control in the sense like here they need to follow some of the things like in the self control, like he need to here they have given emma again emma in the sense right living or self control. Self control in the sense when they were having a self control, they live, they will have a successful life, right living. Okay, yama again divided into 5. Okay, actually I have not given, actually that is under my knowledge, in my knowledge I'm telling self control, yama in the sense self control. In that, like we can see that there are the 5 steps are there in the yama. Okay, the first one is ahimsa, the second one is satya, the third one is astiya, the fourth one is brahmacharya, the fifth one is aparigraha. Okay, here what do you mean by ahimsa? Ahimsa in the sense you all know what do you mean by ahimsa. Ahimsa in the sense like abstention from violence. Okay, not harming, or abstention from violence, not harming anyone, that is comes under ahimsa. That also one of the self control, one of yama. Okay, the next one is satya. What do you mean by satya? Satya in the sense like truthfulness. Truthfulness means satya. Even abstentions from falsehood, abstention from falsehood or truthfulness, that is comes under satya. Next one is astiya. Astiya in the sense abstention from theft, not do robbery. Okay, they are not supposed to do robbery. Okay, astiya in the sense abstention from theft, not stealing, or he is supposed to be responsible. Okay, not stealing or abstention from theft, that is astiya. The next one is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means it is completely they are not having any sexual intercourse during their life period, that is comes under brahmacharya. Okay, unmarried. Then aparigraha. Aparigraha in the sense like here they'll live simply, means avoidance of greed, means selfish. Okay, avoidance of selfish. Aparigraha means avoidance of selfish or avoidance of greed. Okay, means they supposed to live simplicity and generosity. Okay, these are the comes under self control. Yama is again classified into 5. The first one is ahimsa, second one is satya, the third one is astiya, the fourth one is brahmacharya, the fifth one is aparigraha. Okay, these are the comes under self control. This is the first step or first limb of the yoga system. The second one is religious observances. Okay, religious observances means this is comes under niyama. Okay, niyama also again divided into, niyama is a Sanskrit word. Actually most of the yoga system, whichever the 8 steps are there, that all the Sanskrit words. Okay, Sanskrit words. So the second one is religious observances, that comes under like niyama, we'll call as niyama. Niyama also again divided into 5. Okay, in these what are the things we need to follow in the niyama means like saucha means purity, they supposed to be purity, and santosha always contentment. Okay, means state of happiness. Okay, state of happiness or feeling of happiness, contentment, that is called santosha. Then tapas means self discipline. Then the swadhyaya that is called self study. Swadhyaya, that is self study. Then Ishvara Pranidhana means surrender to a higher source. That is, these are the 5 steps has been given in the niyama or religious observances. Okay, in the under religious observances niyama, what are the things they need to practice means the first one is saucha, saucha means purity. Then next one is santosha, means always they supposed to be happy. The next one is tapas, means always they need to have a self discipline. The next one is swadhyaya, means all people need to have a self study. The next one is ishvara pranidhana, means always they supposed to surrender to the higher source, means God. They are supposed to surrender their life to the God, that is Ishvara Pranidhana. These all the 5 steps comes under religious observances, means niyama. Okay, the next one is assumptions of certain positions. Okay, what are the assumptions of certain positions here? Okay, Like positions means, like I already said that positions means asanas. Mostly people may use these asanas, okay, in yoga system. Most of the peoples may use these asanas, okay. These are the asanas, like, I'll give some examples of asanas in yoga system. Like, so first they'll start the yoga with Surya Namaskar. Even when we are like in our BSc, when we started our BSc life in first year, we used to have a yoga classes in regularly 4 to 5. Okay, there I have learned some of the like asanas. Like first we need to start with Surya Namaskar. Okay, Surya Namaskar. You know the position of Surya Namaskar, right? All the tapas they will do. Monks, sannyasi, they will do this Surya Namaskar. Okay. First they'll start with the position. First position is they'll start asana with Surya Namaskar, then Tadasana. Okay, there are the types of asanas are there. I'll give some of the examples of asanas. Okay, here Tadasana in the sense mountain pose. Okay, then Rukshasana means tree pose. Then next Svanasana means like dog pose. Then Trikonasana means triangular pose. Then Kurshyasana means chair pose. Then Naukasana means boat pose. Then the Bhujangasana means like cobra, how the cobra snake will have, it will strengthen their that one, no? That one, Bhujangasana means cobra pose. Okay, then child pose means how the child, when the fetus in the womb, how the position, okay, that pose, that is called as child pose. And Sukshasana means meditation meditation in the sense like yoga, this one only, dhyana. Okay, that is the comes under, these are the types of asanas. Okay, Surya Namaskar, Tadasana means mountain pose, Vrukshasana tree pose, Svanasana dog pose, Trikonasana triangular pose, Kursyasana chair pose, Naukasana boat pose, Bhujangasana cobra pose, child pose, Sukshasana means meditation. Okay, these are the different types of like asanas we can practice in the yoga system. Okay, then the next fourth limb or fourth step is like restraint of or regulation of the breath. Here the regulation of the breath in the sense pranayama. Okay, regulation of the breath in the sense pranayama. We all know the regulation of the breath means first here in this they need to control their breath. Okay, they need to control their breath in the sense like inhalation and exhalation. Okay, taking the breath inside, taking exhaling the breath outside. These two also they need to control. Breath in and breath out. Breath in also sometimes they need to control. Breath out also they need to control. Sometimes temporary suspension of breath. Sometimes completely they can control their breath, even exhalation and inhalation. Okay, temporary suspension of breathing also we can see in this regulation of breath, that is called pranayama. Okay, then the fifth limb. Okay, fifth limb or fifth step is restraint of the senses. Here the restraint of the senses in the sense like here pratyahara will called as pratyahara. Pratyahara means self control. Okay, they need to have a self control on all the senses. Okay, controlling all the senses, that is comes under pratyahara. Now sixth one is steadying of the mind, that we'll call as dharana. Okay, steadying of the mind, that we'll call as dharana. In this what will happen means the people will fixation on one some part of the body such as the nose or travel. Okay, here they will focus one object only shorter period of time in the body part. Okay, whatever the body part is there, some part of the body they will have a fixation like nose. Sometimes they will close their nose. Okay, in some of the body parts they can have a fixation, that is comes under steadying of the mind. Okay, dharana will call means they will have a focus on a single object for a shorter period, that is comes under dharana. Okay, dhyana in the sense, whereas dharana can have a fixation only some part of the body, whereas dhyana
Meditation means they'll have overall the body, means like mind and soul and body, mind, soul. Okay, in 3 areas they will have a fixation: overall the body and soul and mind. Okay, they'll have a fixation or many points, and it will take a longer period of time, whereas dharana take a short period of time, and they will have a fixation of only some part of the body, whereas dhyana will have a fixation of overall the body parts. Again, they can have a longer period of time. Okay, that is comes under meditation or dhyana. The next one is profound contemplation. Profound contemplation in the sense, like here samadhi. Do you know samadhi? Samadhi in the sense, when we will do the samadhi, if one person is in underground, means graveyard, what will happen? So he may not have any senses, he may not have any touch, he may not show any sensitivity to light, pain, touch, sensation. Okay, completely he is like a dead. Okay, samadhi. Profound contemplation means it is a thoughtful long consideration or observation. Okay, with such contempt and observation and detachment, he may have a detachment to the he may have detachment that are there is insensitivity. Detachment means he may not have any attachment, right? Okay, samadhi, whenever the people are in the samadhi, they cannot have any attachment. In this step also, last step also, they will have a detachment, as well as they will have a insensitivity to heat, insensitivity to cold, and insensitivity to pain and pleasure. Okay, the people, those who are practicing samadhi, okay, those who are practicing samadhi, they are completely detached to the environment, completely they are detached to their body, mind and soul, and completely they may have insensitivity to heat, insensitivity to cold, insensitivity to pain and pleasure. Okay, likewise, like dead body, they will practice this step. Okay, that is comes under samadhi. Okay, is it clear? Yoga, till yoga. Okay.